funny enough, though, it's looking almost better in retrospect now with the increase to the Steam Deck. Charging that much for a Steam Deck is damn near criminal right
It's
now.
so crazy.
It is insane. That is
Okay.
a 4-year piece of hardware?
Yeah.
And now it's $1,000.
And now it's $1,000.
That's
I can't do that. I asked a friend of mine the other day, I was like, is it worth it for me to, because I was wanting to buy a Steam Deck this summer. I was like, is it worth it for me to get the OLED one, or can I get by on the LCD and you and I just put a better hard drive in and things like that? He's like, dude, second option. He was like, second option.
Okay, so the AR glasses are the X-Real glasses. I thought they were the whatchamacallit.
Yeah, because that's where
starts
I
with a
thought
V.
so, because that's
A
where,
Viture. I thought they were the Viture glasses, but these are the X-Real glasses.
yeah, those are supposedly pretty good, I guess. But
And then it's TMR joysticks.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, the Steam Deck, man, like the fact that it's that much money now, and like, I don't know, that's ridiculous. I'm sure you can get like the LCD one that Josh was talking about, like really cheap on like
you
eBay or
can
something.
get the refurbished, the closest that PC gaming is going to be to being affordable for a long time.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound so wild that it's almost criminal. I feel like a lot of these companies should, to get the brand loyalty, for the coming years when, like, things might hit equilibrium. I say might because there's a lot of financial reporting saying that, once we get out of this craziness that we're in, it's going to take about 6 to 7 years for everything to kind of like shrink back down to like what we're used to in pricing and stuff like that. I feel like I feel like what these companies should have done is they should try their best to play around as best as they can with not raising their pricing and stuff like that, because then they can turn around later on. For example, like a PlayStation 6, for example, if Sony had done whatever they could to stick with that $500 to $600 price range for the base PlayStation 5, and that redonkulous $800 for the Pro, if they just tried to stick with that, and then the PS6 comes out, they could ask for a steeper price tag on that. I think ultimately it would do, and not just Sony. I think every company in tech right now, I understand, like the snake is eating itself from the tail right now with supply chain shortages, tariffs bullshit. Thanks everybody for not doing your best to like vote to keep this bullshit from happening. By the way, like we're in the middle of a fucking destabilizing economic war and all this stuff. If these companies had done their best to try and like just say, hey, we understand things are high. We're going to try our best to try not to make it seem like we're Xing you guys out, because literally that's what's happening is we're being X'd out of entertainment now. And guess what? When we're X'd out of entertainment, nothing's going to go right. If they'd done that and then, like turn around and say, hey, the new shiny thing's coming, we're going to have to make it this price. I feel like they would have actually reaped the rewards of that.
I feel like, especially with the Steam Deck, right? Like, not like Josh mentioned, it's 4 years old at this point, but also like Valve is not a publicly traded company, and they own the biggest PC storefront in the world, arguably the biggest gaming storefront in the world, right? Like, I would argue that's probably pretty true. And they only employ about 300 people. And so like components cannot cost that much to where they have to raise that thing that much money, right? Like there's no way.
Memory is the biggest thing, because shit, before it was RAM, like CPUs were the thing.
Yeah, but I feel like when they started this thing, like they had they should have had those prices like locked in. And I know like prices change over time, right? But like, and maybe they're trying to account for the pricing of whatever the next version of the Steam Deck is to try to, hopefully make that a little bit cheaper than it maybe would be. But like, I just feel like it's just such a $300. Like I understand like $50 or $100 maybe, but like $300.
Yeah. It just makes me think that the Steam machine is DOA.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real.